Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. You are listening to Mental Fitness Matters. I am your host, Tracy Alston, and this is WSIC Radio. Happy Thursday. Today's show is going to be amazing. I have WSIC's very own Niakeya James as my guest for today, and we have a great conversation for our listeners. And if you are listening for the very first time, welcome. This is the Mental Fitness Matters Show. This show is designed to provide you with tips, strategies, and solutions on how to improve your mental health and mental fitness. I invite industry experts and guests from all walks of life on the show to provide information and resources for our listeners on how to continue to improve our mental health and mental fitness. So if you are tuning in for the very first time, thank you and welcome. This show is also on podcasts. So if you are a podcast listener, whether that's iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google, feel free to download and subscribe to this podcast. These shows will be uploaded there every single week. But I'm just excited about Niakeya this morning. She is such an instrumental part of what I'm allowed to do each week here at WSIC. And she's also such an instrumental part for the other hosts, for them to do their jobs every single day. She has a true gift and expertise in being able to see the bigger picture. So on my radio journey, she has been very, very helpful for me, whether it's with ideas, whether it's with show topics, and just helping me get better each and every single week. So I'm so grateful and thankful for her and honored to have her on the show with me today. She's here every week, but she's normally behind the scenes. So today's special because she gets to come out front and shine bright like the star that she is. Niakeya is the producer here at WSIC. She handles all aspects of production, including writing, recording of commercials, as well as on-air programming. She holds a degree in journalism and mass communications with a minor in marketing from North Carolina A&T. It was in college that her radio career began. Niakeya loves to read, write, and sing while performing in the mirror. I love that. Niakeya, welcome to the show. Happy Thursday, lady. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. I know you're so used to being back behind the scenes in the shadows, but like I've been telling you, you are a star, and so I'm so glad that you're here.
I am used to being in the back, and I'm very nervous right now.
It's all good. It's all good. So let's get into it. You know the drill. Normally when I have my guest on, I love to just ask people, what does mental fitness mean to you? In what ways and what do you do now to kind of stay mentally healthy and mentally fit?
Mental fitness means to me is when I have to take time to recharge and realign myself and, and being able to identify the fact that I need to recharge and I need to take that time to myself. And what I do, I'll go in my room, I'll read, I'll journal, and I'll pray. Most of the time I'm just, getting my thoughts out. I'll turn everything off, turn my cell phone off, and just listen to myself think. That's how I try to keep myself calm, in line, because if I'm low energy, I'm no good for anyone. Like, I know I just have to remove myself. If my energy is not high, it's like, I have to bring it back. I have to get to know me again.
I love that. I love that. I love how you just said that with recharging and knowing that about yourself, knowing that you need that time and that space. Thank you for sharing that. Niakeya and I, every time we get out of the studio, so just so you guys know, this is a live show every single week. And every time we get off the air, we go to the back and we do promos for the upcoming week. We have such good conversation. Each week we're going to talk about different things, whether it's hot topics or things going on that week or topic ideas. And one week we were just having a conversation in the back and we were talking about, what keeps people stuck, ourselves personally. Why will we try something or not? What holds us back from dreaming or not, or doing or not? What are those things that keep us stuck? And we were just kind of talking back and forth about needing to know and hear your voice. And Niakeya said something very powerful. She was like, well, how do you know whose voice it is that you're hearing? And we looked at each other and it was like, oh, wow, that is good. That is a topic in and of itself. We need to get on the air and have a conversation about this because this has led us to our conversation that we want to have today about being the hero of your own story by writing your own script, discovering the art of self-awareness and blocking out the noise because there is so much noise. So when she asked that question, how do you know whose voice it is? Think about that. How many people right now are living your life based on the script that somebody else has written for you? Let me say that one more time. How many people are out here right now living your life based on the script that somebody else has written for you? Think about that. There's so many voices telling you who you need to be, how you need to be, where you need to be, and why you need to be. What does your voice say? So Niakeya, let's get into this conversation, because I want to make sure that as we walk away from this, we want our listeners to be able to block out the noise, hear their own voice. And I love what you were saying about being able to go home and recharge. You were able to get quiet to hear that.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get it started. What holds people back from starting, from dreaming, from living, from trying, from doing? What is that?
I think it's fear. Well, for me, it's fear. I'll talk for myself. For me, it's fear. It's fear of what people think, fear of not living up to what your parents thought you should live up to, and just fear of breaking out. I think more so is you're running from yourself, and then I got to a point where I had to stop running. I had to stop running from my voice. I had to stop running from my calling. You just have to stop running. You have to come to a point and decide and make a decision that you're going to believe what you believe in yourself and not what others believe for you. That's
good. I got chills when you said running from your calling. I got chills when you said that. I love that you just said that, because I think so many of us, that that you know, right? You know that there's this thing on the inside of you that's burning. There's a desire. But depending on where you come from, and the truth is a lot of these beliefs start very young for everybody.
They do.
How many impressions do we get when we're growing up, whether that's what you're going to believe in terms of religion, whether or not somebody in your family went to college. A lot of times we do what we are doing because the people before us did it, right? And so that becomes, I have to do this because this is what my mom or my dad did, or this is what they think I can do. But being able to kind of have that awareness.
And it's that pressure of staying in that box, it's comfortable where you're comfortable at, and just like I'm out of my comfort zone right now. I'm
and you're killing
shaking
it.
Over
doing
here.
Amazing. You're doing amazing.
I'm shaking over here, but it's just getting out of your comfort zone and allowing yourself to be open to those opportunities. Because whenever you say, "Oh, we can talk about that on the show," I'm like, Tracy, I just wanted you to talk about it to see if you could help me, but here I am, and I appreciate you even helping me get out of my comfort zone. I appreciate you allowing me to do that with you.
Absolutely.
I don't know how I'd let you talk me into it.
But I think it's necessary, because we all have been there and we're all there. When I first came on the radio, I was like, radio host, are you kidding me? But you've helped me every single week get more and more confident and comfortable right here. And that's a part of the call that you have to stand up to, and you are doing that. And I think as we talk to the audience and to the listeners, when I ask that question, how many people are living your life right now based on the script that somebody else is writing for you, you have to really become intentional about who you are. And so I think that is part of getting quiet and understanding whose voice it is. If there are people around you telling you, you can't do this, you shouldn't do that, that's their fear. That's their failure. That's not yours. Because the person on the inside of you knows that you came here to create and be more. So I love how you just said you stepped outside of your comfort zone, and here you are.
Yes.
This is the first time you're normally behind the scenes, right?
Yes.
First time that you've been on the air, and this is where
on the spot.
On the spot. And I love it. So yeah, fear could be one of those things. The expectation of others. I heard you say that too. Let's talk about that a little bit.
The expectation of others is like, you want to believe your parents, your family, and everyone that you have around you have your best interest at heart. And they may, but they don't know your dream, and they may or may not be able to actually see your dream to the full length that you can see it. And, you want to listen to them, listen to your experts as to why you can't, why you should, or why you shouldn't. But do it anyway. You have to do it anyway. You have to do it, because if not, it's gonna continue to eat you up, and it's gonna get stronger, and you either have to address it or keep running.
Oof, that's so good. you're going to have to address it or keep running, because that thing is going to continue to pull at you.
It is.
It's going to continue to pull at you. And if you're listening right now and you have something that you've been wanting to do, you've been wanting to try, you've been wanting to dabble more into, that is something that's calling you. That is a part of who you are. I like to use the analogy a lot of times, as we're going to start to talk about as we get into this show a little bit more. We're going to take a break here shortly, but I like to use the analogy that if you are somebody who loves coffee and you have a coffee maker in your house and you never plug it in, you're not going to get that coffee, right? You love coffee, you have a coffee maker in your house and you never plug it in. You love to write. You never spend time writing. It's not going to come out of you. So you're not going to get coffee if you're not plugged in, and you're not going to get the birth of the dream if you don't tune into that and plug into that place and that space and dwell in that space more often. You can have these gifts, and if that's burning on the inside of you, you're like, I want a cup of coffee. Go plug it in. You have the coffee maker, right? So what we're talking about right now is that you might have this burning desire on the inside of you that's been there. You're going to continue to run from it, push it down, or ignore it, or you're going to answer the call. And part of being the hero of your own story is being able to answer the call. Plug in the coffee maker. You're going to get that coffee that you love so much. Niakeya, what else do you want to say on that piece there before we take a break here?
You have to know that you are the star. Start doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible.
Woo.
That's my quote for today.
I'm taking that. I'm writing that down. That's good. Say that one more time.
Start doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible.
That's deep.
I don't know who quote it is. I would say I made it up, but that's not true.
That's good. That's so good. That's so good. And I think that's a perfect place to take a break, because when we come back, we're going to pick up on that right there. I love that. We are listening to the Mental Fitness Matters show. I have WSIC's producer, Niakeya James, in the building with me today. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come right back and continue to talk about being the hero in your own story by writing your own script. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. You are listening to Mental Fitness Matters. I am your host, Tracy Alston, and this is WSIC Radio. And I have in the studio with me today, well, she's actually here every single week, but she's on front of the scenes tonight, or today, Niakeya James, the producer of WSIC. And we are talking about being the hero of your own story, writing your own script. self-awareness and blocking out the noise. And before we went to break, we were just kind of going through some of the things that hold people back. And we were talking about how fears and insecurities and other people's expectations can be the things that are limiting us from doing all the things that we are called to do. And before we went to break, Niakeya, you had such an amazing quote. I want you to say that quote one more time for our listeners that are just tuning in.
Start doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible.
I just think that's powerful. And when we kind of pose the question, so now that we're knowing what's keeping us stagnant and holding us back, let's get into how do I begin quieting the noise and becoming the hero of my own story?
For me, it was unplugging, taking that break from social media, taking that break from friends or people that you thought were your friends, taking that break from family. You know, I know that's hard, but sometimes you have to take that break from them because, like I said, even they don't know the full extent of your dream or who you are inside. So I think you just have to unplug and you have to begin to rewire yourself, those beliefs that they put on you, those insecurities. You have to overcome that. You have to push through.
I love that. And that's part of what the quote you just started with. Start with what's necessary. And I'm on the same wavelength with that. Unplugging. You have to begin to ask yourself, who are you? What makes you happy? Doing the things that are necessary for you. You're exactly right. Your dream and your vision is not going to be somebody else's dream and vision. And that's okay. It's okay. It's okay to don't be afraid to look in the mirror, to reevaluate, to reassess your entire life. The entire voices that you've been hearing all along growing up. It's okay to pivot and switch the course if it doesn't feel right for you. So doing what's necessary.
Mm-hmm. You have to do what's necessary. You have to. I would suggest everyone just take a break. You know, take a break. Take a week for yourself. Do what you want to do and who you believe you are supposed to become. If you are a writer, take a week to write.
Whew.
Get up, write, do something. You want to start a podcast, start recording. You don't have to have the equipment, just use your phone. I think you gave me that nugget when we talked the first time. You said, just start recording. So you just have to start something. Just take that first step and those other steps will follow. You just have to take the first step. That's what I think. You have to get to know you. Look yourself in the mirror, you know, and soft spots appear when it's not secure. So you have to be secure in who you are. You have to believe exactly who you are.
I love that. Love that. You are dropping nuggets after nuggets after nuggets, knowing who you are, getting to know yourself, getting into a quiet place and space and beginning to recognize your own voice. And what I'm hearing you say with that is really getting back to you. What is it that you love?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you haven't nurtured? There's some things in us. And when we think about who we are and who we're called to be, there's a lot of parts of us that we're not nurturing. Yes. So how will they grow? Right? If you love to write, and if you are working a job where you're not able to write, think about that as a part of who you are, never being touched. Mm-hmm. Never being touched. So if you love to write and you work a 9 to 5 and then you got to go home to your family and take care of them, and so your day's gone and you say, I don't have enough time. You do. So at 9 o'clock at night, when you put everybody to bed, take your 15 minutes to put out your pad and pen and write. You have to feed the gift because you cannot get coffee from an unplugged coffee maker. Mm-hmm. You got the coffee maker, but if you're not plugging it in, it's not turning on. So if you have the gift and the vision and the dream on the inside of you and it's laying dormant, it's not activated, all it is just a gift and a dream. Mm-hmm. Somebody's waiting on your gift. Somebody's waiting on your vision. Somebody's waiting on your voice. So I love how you said you unplug and you get quiet and you tap into who you are.
Yeah, you don't be afraid of your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Because you are the only one that can change those thoughts. You know what I mean? And you have to... Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to take that alone time. You know, I know a lot of people don't like to feel lonely, but sometimes loneliness is okay. Loneliness is okay, and
I got
you know you have to spend time alone, get to know yourself, because be your own friend. You know what I mean? Because you have to tap into yourself. You have to be your own friend. You know, because if you don't, you're no good for anyone. I mean, it's kind of just like you're going through the motions. I know 9 to 5, doing something, working for a living, yes, but you got to find time for you. Take those extra 30 minutes to get up to do something that you want to do, because you're serving people, you're doing everything that other people want you to do throughout the day, and it's just draining your energy. But if you're not mentally fit, you don't know it's draining your energy.
I caught that. I love it. Mentally fit. That's right. Building mentally fit communities out here, Niakeya. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But that is a whole message in and of itself, that if you are out here giving and giving and giving and taking care of everybody else, but you're not spending the time to nurture yourself and to put water in your own garden, then how are you going to grow? How are you going to grow? And so the way that you begin to write your own script and become the hero in your own story, you got to start kind of with what Niakeya just talked about. Number one is knowing who you are. Knowing who you are, not what somebody else says you're supposed to be or where you're supposed to be. I got to be married by 35. I'm supposed to have a baby by 38. And all of these expectations of the world, that these things that people say that you should be doing. What do you say? What do you want? What do you need? Get quiet. I love that tip right there. Just get quiet, get still. Take a week. Begin to write the script. Ask yourself, who am I? If I could be doing one or two things that I would love to do, what would I be doing? What would that consist of? Write that down. And if you're currently doing what you love to do, great. How do I expand on that? After you sit in that place, Niakeya, I heard you say, so the first thing was do what's necessary. Mm-hmm. Your other quote part of that was then do the impossible.
Do what's possible.
Yeah. Do what's possible. Start writing. Start dreaming that dream. Start spending a week of time in that place, in that space. That's what's possible.
Yeah.
Right?
Look at yourself in the mirror. You do that every day.
Yeah. Right?
Look deeper.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Speak about that for a second. Look deeper.
Look deeper. I mean, you look dead into your eyes and tell yourself who you want to become.
Yeah.
That's where it starts. Believing who you want to be. And I know if you're searching for passions, you try to search for your passion, but your passion is probably staring you dead in the face. It's probably right there, and you will never know it until you identify it. You may be doing your passion now or every day, but you don't consider it a passion, you know? So
I like that. And if there's something that you keep coming back to or that keeps coming to you, like you just said, it could be staring you dead in your face. You could be like, oh, I love to create. I'm creative. But how often do you spend creating? Right? How much time do you spend in that creative place and space and just allowing your thoughts to go? A lot of times that's demonized. You know, you're off task, get focused, and creativity is who we are. We are creative beings. So allow that process to just flow with no limits, no expectations of yourself, no need for it to be perfect. Go to your room, get quiet, take a week, and say to yourself, I'm going to spend 15 minutes a day in my place, in my purpose, in my passion. I'm going to begin to write the story in the script by starting with who am I. The next line that I'm going to write out after I write who am I love to ... After you write out what you love to do, what would that consist of? What would that look like? Begin to write your story. Niakeya, you have been awesome. I truly appreciate you. And I know the people here at WSIC appreciate you as well.
Thank you. I appreciate you. You help me every day.
Well, back at you.
Every week, you help me.
Continue to grow better in your gifts and do the things that you're doing for people. And you guys have been listening to the Mental Fitness Matters show. Niakeya James is in the building. She's here every single day, every single week, helping us be the stars that we are. I want my Mental Fitness Matters community to shine bright like the stars that you are. Niakeya James, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Have a great week. Keep shining.